A man named Josh is reaching his breaking point after years of living with an uninvited presence. To prove the constant paranormal activity, he set up numerous cameras all throughout his home. Cleansing rituals and prayers have done nothing. The dark energy always finds a way back. Nearly every room carries its own haunting, but one recent recording has convinced him that the situation is rapidly escalating. While the house was empty, violent banging began echoing from the rooms. The sound was sharp and deliberate, as if something was demanding to be noticed. As terrifying as the noise itself was, what followed would push the haunting into a far more sinister level. The chilling wail of ghostly screams filled the house, overlapping as glowing orbs drifted into view. The louder they became, the more they resembled something demonic, as though the cries were coming from the depths of hell itself. And if that wasn't enough, Josh explained that the most horrifying part of this haunting is the poltergeist activity that sometimes surrounds him. One cabinet door creaked open on its own, moving unnaturally, as if guided by an unseen hand. Seconds later, the kettle on the counter began to slide, then violently crashed to the floor. After enduring years of supernatural torment, Josh admits he's finally had enough. He's preparing to leave the house behind, and that may be the only way to escape this relentless haunting. Before we jump into our next terrifying video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, so you'll be the first to know whenever we upload something new. Now let's get back to our next video. This chilling case involves a young couple living in an apartment that locals claim is haunted.
Amor, desde hace rato estoy escuchando que alguien está intentando abrir la puerta. Escucha.
Nos acaban de levantar, estábamos viendo una serie y pues la neta sí está medio fuerte el pedo. Escuchen.
Amor.
Amor.
¿Viste eso?
No mames. No mames, ¿qué fue? Amor, se acaba de abrir la puerta. Estoy seguro que se giró.
¿Neta?
Sí. No mames.
No seas mamón.
No mames, amor. Amor, no mames. No mames. No seas mamón. Amor, ¿qué pedo? Está volviendo a pasar. Amor, no mames. Acabamos de grabar la puerta, la acabo de cerrar. Creemos que se va a volver a abrir porque se escuchan ruidos. Literal se acaba de escuchar un ruido. No, no mames.
Ay, no seas mamá.
Amor, no mames. No mames.
Te estoy temblando.
They've been plagued by eerie sounds, unexplained handprints appearing on their bed, and doors that creak open on their own. These disturbing events have been escalating, leaving the couple in constant fear. In one of their recordings, something strange stirs beneath the sheets, only to vanish the instant Batum pulls them back. Later, inside the bathroom, a shadowy figure briefly materializes before disappearing the moment the door is opened, leaving behind the same claw-like scratches seen before. The unnerving question remains, what is truly haunting their apartment? And if it isn't paranormal activity, then what else could possibly explain these terrifying events? Danny was busy handling chores around the house when a strange pattern of knocks began echoing from the bathroom. At first, it seemed harmless enough, the kind of sound that could be explained away by pipes or maybe even rodents inside the walls. Driven by curiosity, he decided to check it out himself, unaware that this choice would lead to one of the most terrifying moments of his life. What he expected to be something ordinary was about to turn into something far more sinister. As he stepped inside, the rhythmic knocking grew louder. It was clear the sound was coming directly from within the structure. Danny turned to head back to the living room, planning to call the exterminator on speed dial. But before he could leave, a demonic-looking figure suddenly peeked from behind the shower curtain. Overcome with horror, Danny instantly cut the recording and bolted from the house. When he pulled up his CCTV app moments later, the cameras showed nothing at all. The bathroom was empty. No intruder, no creature. Yet Danny knew what he had seen was real, a horrifying brush with something supernatural lurking in his own home. Late one night in Mexico, a family was settling in when someone noticed something unusual drifting past their bedroom window. They described it as a pale, cloak-like figure gliding through the street outside. Curious and uneasy, the father grabbed his phone and went downstairs, determined to capture whatever mysterious presence was moving near their home.
Ya, loco, graba. Míralo ahí, loco, míralo ahí. ¿Y qué? ¿Qué está haciendo? Yo te dije, loco, ese parece a Martín, loco, el que murió. Cierra la puerta. Cierra la puerta. Llama a papi. Papi, ven que aquí hay una cosa rara, yo no sé qué es. Mira, llámalo, ve. Cierra la puerta. Ay, Dios mío. Mira. Ay, Dios. Llama a papi.
In the recording, we can see a ghostly white shape, resembling a floating sheet, twists and hovers in the darkness. Its movements didn't follow the natural flow of the wind, instead gliding across the road as if under its own control. Moments later, it slipped into the shadows near a neighboring house and vanished completely. The unsettling footage left the family shaken, questioning if this was a prank or an actual paranormal encounter. Neighbors have since been cautioned, but the haunting mystery remains unsolved. A paranormal investigator known as Raga Paranormal accepted a challenge to explore a hospital infamous for terrifying hauntings, but he never expected that one of the spirits inside would follow him home. The abandoned building was straight out of a nightmare. A decaying shell that locals whisper is more of a gateway to the afterlife than a hospital. Raga wandered through the rotting corridors, filming every step, but found nothing unusual. Disappointed, he packed his gear and left, unaware that the real haunting wouldn't begin until he stepped back inside his own home.
¿Qué quieren que vea? ¿Siguen aquí? Hola.
From that night forward, his house transformed into a stage for chilling paranormal activity. Investigators call this phenomenon an attachment, where a ghost or entity latches onto a person rather than remaining tied to a single place. It's the kind of souvenir no ghost hunter ever wants. But this presence wasn't satisfied with only disturbing his living room. It soon began following him everywhere, even on his daily commute.
La puerta está moviendo. Acaban de golpear la silla a mi derecha. Ahí. ¿Qué les dije? ¡Uy, hijo de puta!
The activity escalated into a terrifying game of cat and mouse. At one point, he caught a door creaking open before slamming shut with violent force. Yet, it wasn't the door that made him flee. It was the guttural growl that rumbled from the other side, a sound too deep and menacing to be mistaken for a human voice.
¡Uy, hijo de puta!
Paranormal experts often separate human spirits from entities that were never human at all. Whispers and faint voices might suggest a ghost of the departed, but a growl like this usually signals something darker, something openly hostile. Despite the clear danger, Raga pressed on, trying to make contact with whatever was tormenting him.
Si hay algún alma que necesita luz, que esté aquí. Eso no me lo esperaba para nada.
Suddenly, a jug of silverware clattered violently to the ground. When he turned, a box had somehow shifted from one cabinet to another, ending up in a spot that looked impossible to fake. Piece it all together, An entity had attached itself to him, followed him from the hospital, and was now escalating by slamming doors, moving objects, and unleashing demonic growls. So what exactly was this? Could it have been the restless ghost of a patient who once suffered inside the hospital's walls? Or, as many fear, had Raga unknowingly provoked something inhuman, a supernatural predator, now using his life as its personal hunting ground? Share your theories, because this haunting is far from ordinary. A woman named Dallas Clark, who lives in Wichita, Kansas, admits that her house may be haunted after her Ring camera captured a disturbing moment. In the clip, her young son appears to be having a heated argument with someone, but he's completely alone in his bedroom.
Don't talk. You don't talk to me. Wait, ghost man. Ghost man, ghost man. Ghost man, you say yes. Your eyes stupid. You don't like you anywhere. Yeah. You want to talk to me, ghost? Uh-huh. You want to talk? You want to talk, ghost? You want to talk to me? I'm gonna beat you up. Cause if you don't be quiet now, you're ghost. Ghost.
The toddler can be heard talking back to an unseen presence he calls Ghost Man. At one point, he even threatens to fight the ghostly figure, as if it were standing right there in the room.
I'm gonna beat you up. Cause if you don't be quiet now, don't be quiet!
Growing frustrated, the child eventually yells at the ghost to leave, his small voice filled with anger and defiance. According to Dallas, her son still regularly talks about Ghost Man, and she has captured additional unexplained disturbances throughout her home. To her, the evidence suggests this haunting may not be just a child's imagination. Leandro was spending the evening alone while his mother attended a party. The house was quiet, yet the silence carried something unnatural. He felt an invisible weight in the air, as though unseen eyes were fixed on him. It wasn't outright fear, more like an oppressive pressure that made every breath feel heavier. Hoping to ease his nerves, he pulled out his phone and began recording, thinking the act of filming might give him some sense of control over the growing unease.
Aconteceu na minha casa às 3h15 da madrugada.
Cara, faz horas que eu tô ouvindo um barulho aqui, então eu resolvi filmar pra vocês. Não sei, mas parece que tinha alguém, sei lá, fazendo um barulho, mexendo aqui na varanda de casa. Eu tô sozinho hoje. Minha mãe saiu, foi lá pra minha tia. Hoje eu tô sozinho, então...
Tinha alguma coisa mexendo
eu já não fico
na chave
muito
da
bem
porta.
quando eu tô sozinho. Hã? Oi? A chave tá balançando. Olha só, não para. Gente, olha só, eu vou acender até a luz. Olha isso. Olha só, cara, que sinistro. Ela fica mexendo e não para. Ó, eu vou ficar até longe, ó. Olha lá. Não para de mexer. Olha isso, cara. Eu tô ouvindo um barulho, eu tô achando... Acho que é isso, a chave tava mexendo, não sei. Olha, não para. Ai, credo, velho, que susto. Ai, credo. Nossa, sinistro essas horas, velho. Acho que não tem ninguém acordado essas horas.
Só eu, aqui dentro de casa. Eu vou dormir com a luz acesa hoje, quero nem saber. Eu odeio dormir sozinho em casa, odeio. Não, tem motoqueiro na rua ainda. Mas tem uma coisa que eu detesto, é dormir sozinho em casa. Cara, mas que sinistro. Que isso, cara, olha isso. Olha aí, o ventilador. Tá doido, ele tá desligado, tá fora da tomada. Deixa eu acender o... Olha lá. Olha isso. Olha lá. Não, tá de brincadeira comigo, né? Olha aqui. Tá fora da tomada ela. Ah não, velho, na moral mesmo. Tá de brincadeira mesmo, né? Ai.
On camera, the first signs of paranormal activity appeared when a set of keys began to sway and jingle slowly on their own, moving in a way no draft could explain. Leandro checked behind the door, but found nothing there. Moments later, the orange fan resting behind the door started spinning, despite being clearly unplugged. His trembling voice in the footage wavered between panic and disbelief. After shutting off the recording, he searched the house room by room, but found no intruder, no explanation. When he finally called his mother, she had no answers either. That night, sleep was impossible. The keys moved, the fan spun, and Leandro was left with the chilling thought that the ghostly force in his home wasn't just present, it was aware of him. A young woman named Kyla recalls that her very first ghost sighting happened when she was only 3 years old. In an old home video, her aunt is recording her at the table when something chilling suddenly takes place.
There's an apple. Look, an apple. Don't come in here. Okay, stay in there. Stay in there in the library. Don't come in here. Okay? I won't need you anymore. I'm just gonna get.
Who you talking to?
I don't like that.
Who you talking to?
I don't want to no.
Huh?
I don't like that one.
Well, who? You don't like who? What, baby? Like what?
Fast forward 15 years, and Kyla is now 18. She admits she remembers very little about that night, with only faint fragments of the haunting experience lingering in her memory.
So basically, me and my aunt, I was at my aunt's house. My grandma lived down the street, and I guess my mom was at work. We were just eating potato soup, and I guess I saw something or someone on the stairs, and I was like, don't you come in here.
Don't come in here. Okay? Stay in there.
And they just kept getting closer to me, and you could see that I'm looking that way. And I'm just like, you know, because it's coming at me, and I'm like, get away.
So, with whom Kyla was talking at that day? Was it a ghost or an imaginary friend? Let me know your thoughts.
I don't like that.
Dre and his friend were spending the evening together when unsettling noises began echoing from the attic above. At first, they dismissed it as nothing more than the wind or the old house groaning, but the sounds grew louder and more persistent. After some hesitation, they decided to investigate. Climbing into the dark attic, they were immediately struck by an overpowering sense of dread, as though invisible eyes were watching them from the corners. The air seemed thick and heavy, and both agreed that something about the space felt terribly wrong.
Alright, remember, I gotta turn this thing on here. Recorder's on.
Alright, we got the cripple.
Yeah, I'm the cripple. I'm the EVP director.
The EVP specialist. And, let's see if I can do this. Got myself, Trey. And we're up here because we heard some noises earlier. And we're trying to figure out if we can catch a little bit more. Or try to piss this thing off enough to let us know that it's here.
I heard you up here last night. Make a noise. I kept on hearing stuff in the back of the attic on the back there on the right, like there was something hiding back there. I got it on the recorder, like all these little bangs and scratching noises. And just for the record, there's no wildlife up here. What's your name? Stop hiding and show yourself.
Give us a sign. What the hell was that?
Did you see something?
We just got something on video.
What was it?
Oh my gosh, what was that? Hang on, we gotta stop this.
What did it look like?
As the camera swept across the attic's far side, it captured a quick but undeniable movement in the shadows. There was no one else inside the house, and no way someone could have hidden without being seen. The chilling encounter left them convinced they had witnessed genuine paranormal activity, an eerie haunting that could only be explained as a ghostly presence lurking in the attic darkness. This chilling incident was shared by a woman on her profile, Los Polioneros TV. According to her, her little son had been speaking more frequently about his so-called imaginary companion, who often appeared in his bedroom. The boy seemed to carry on full conversations with this unseen visitor, describing him as if he were truly there. Troubled but curious, the mother began filming these unsettling moments to show her relatives. On this particular day, she hit record after her child mentioned that his mysterious friend was once again present in the house.
Ay, acabo de escuchar algo muy extraño en la cocina. Ay, no. Vente, estamos solos. Ay, Dios mío.
Clearly unsettled, the mother turned toward the kitchen, and that's when she caught something bone-chilling on camera. A shadowy figure resembling a small child stood silently in the dark, staring back at her from the gloom. The sight horrified her so much that it took several days before she found the courage to post the video online. Now she is convinced her son's imaginary friend might actually be a ghostly presence. Whether it's a case of paranormal activity or a more sinister haunting, one can only hope this supernatural encounter doesn't spiral into something far worse. This unsettling clip comes from the YouTube channel Munra Vlogs. This time, they set out on a ghost hunt through a series of abandoned buildings with some fellow investigators to capture proof of paranormal activity hidden within these ruins.
Por aquí, vente. Vente. Por aquí. Miren amigos, cómo está de grandísimo esto. No la acabamos hoy, pero lo que alcancemos. Traigo esta madre en los huevos, güey. Y ando incómodo. ¿Hola? Puta madre, güey. ¿Hola? Alexis.
Hola.
No mames, Alexis.
Hola.
Ahí hay alguien. ¿Quién eres?
¿Quién eres?
¡No seas mamá! Alexis.
Hola.
No mames, Alexis.
Hola.
Ahí hay alguien. ¿Quién eres?
¿Quién eres?
¡No seas mamón! ¿Lo viste? No mames, no mames, no mames. Vete. Vénganse, 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 vénganse. No mames. No mames, güey. No mames.
As they moved deeper into the decaying structure, Munra suddenly spotted a shadowy silhouette peeking at them from around a corner. The dark figure seemed to be silently observing before it slipped out of sight. The group sprinted to the exact spot, but when they arrived, there was no trace of anyone. Shaken but determined, the team pressed forward, cameras ready to catch more evidence of the haunting.
¿Qué quieres? Acércate. ¿Por qué no te acercas? ¿La ventana, Alexis? ¿En la ventana, en la ventana, en la ventana, en la ventana, güey?
Hay algo ahí, sí, hay algo ahí.
¿Hay algo? ¿Quién eres? ¡No te pases de rosca, güey! ¿En la ventana, en la ventana, en la ventana, en la ventana, güey?
Hay algo ahí, sí, hay algo ahí.
¿Hay algo? ¿Quién eres? ¡No te pases de rosca, güey! Sí, no mames, güey, yo pensé que era otra ventana. Vente. No mames, güey. Vente. No seas mamón. Vente, Alexis, vente. Vente, mijo, vente. No mames, güey. ¿Lo viste? Yo pensé que era otra ventana, maferé. Vente, Alexis. No mames. Fui yo. Puta madre. Vente, Alexis, vente, güey. Oye, buenas noches. Vénganse. No mames, estaba aquí, güey.
Soon after, in an entirely different building, the group's cameras picked up the mysterious shadow figure once more. And just like before, the entity vanished before they could reach it. The investigators searched every room, but only found themselves alone inside. Was this a genuine shadow person haunting the ruins, or merely a disguised human lurking in the dark? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.